Okay, good morning. Hi, Julie. I will now screen share.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, awesome. So actually I wanted to check in with you today. How are you doing? How's your MetaPWR journey?
Today's the wrong day to ask me because Brody paced and whined all night long. But
outside influences, lack of sleep. So we won't go there here. Like I'm not feeling like sleep.
my body really wanted to sleep soundly. It did. Yeah, I'm finding I am sleeping more soundly.
That's awesome.
I'm falling asleep faster. It's like historically takes me like half an hour to fall asleep, and it's not. So
okay, that is
that's
good.
nice.
Are you feeling like, I want to know, how many days are you in?
I'm not even sure. Probably 10.
Okay. I'm going to be posting the next 20 days up there today, but I can't remember when I started to feel my skin like soften. It was this.
I think you said 10 days.
Was it 10 for me? Yeah, it's probably around 10. And it was like this morning I realized it was like tighter. Like it was a really weird feeling. Like the softening was like baby soft all of a sudden. But this morning I was like, man, my like face feels tighter. That is interesting.
That's awesome. I have not felt that yet.
No, but I'm over day 30, right? So I think, a lot of people are noticing. For me, someone yesterday was like, there is something different about you. This is not a Facebook person. This is just someone, an acquaintance that I know. And they were like, there's something about you that's different. And I've really noticed it in this past month. It's like, oh, that's good. I said, I'm working on a metabolism support system, and I think it's working. She goes, I think it is too. So there is that, definitely hearing from people. It's nice to hear other people notice or ask those questions. So you're like,
boomer.
I think it's the most important that you know yourself, but when other people notice, you're like, whoa, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about, like, you can see this, the MetaPWR classroom. When you go into the MetaPWR classroom, it looks a mess when you look at the screen or the stream on the screen. It's like, where do I start? Where do I begin? And I think the most important thing is people know to go into classwork. Classwork is where everything's all organized. So I think you were able to do like the start here for a lot of people. They're ordered right now. They've ordered and they're waiting. And I think you were into the biochemical hacks, like you had read about those. And
I did that. And then last night I did the optional.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Because I replied to you last night on that one. Yeah. And it's incredible to see what doTERRA has put together to help us. Like there's a lot.
Well, they must have been working on this for years. There's so much content.
Yeah, and for those people that really want to dig into that learning, like the biochemistry learning, I think they said at convention, if you want to geek out, that's in there as well. I love geeking out. I really do. So I found those through, I think it was through convention. Those were shared, and I'm like, okay, I want to keep them organized in one place. So that's sort of also what inspired me to make the Google Classroom, because it's like, it's all over the place for the MetaPWR information.
It is, and I would never have found the second one.
Oh, right. I know. Yeah, that system can sort of the condensed information. Yeah, and the more that I find, I'll plug it in there so that we can see it, and it helps us understand a little bit more what's happening with our bodies and how the product supports it. And then for us right now, my product has arrived. Now what? And I sort of want to talk about, this today, because that's going to be happening for a lot of people in the next couple of days. I think there'll be more people that are getting their product and they want to know a little bit more about it. So I wanted to ask you, like, your habits. How are you using the MetaPWR right now? Like, what are some of the habits that you're using, or stacking, I should say, to help you?
Honestly, it revolves around work.
Mm,
I take everything with me. I take a water bottle with the oil drops in it.
mhm,
I take the collagen pack, and then I have the assist um, in my bag. And I don't do as much at home
mhm,
because I'm obviously at work for longer in the day.
yeah.
Um, so I kind of time it with how I stack it onto what I'd already been doing at work in terms of my little breaks and
Mhm.
how I eat at work and that kind of thing.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Mine is I have my MetaPWR oil drops, like, sort of right out of the gates in the morning, with like first glass of water. Sometimes I'm putting apple cider vinegar in my water, and the MetaPWR oil definitely helps. That's a health hack that I've had for a while, using apple cider vinegar. But the MetaPWR oil helps it, because even as I'm saying it, I'm laughing because I start getting a gag reflex. It's like,
Yeah.
ugh, apple cider vinegar. But it's helped make me more consistent with that in the morning. And then I brought out, I don't know, are you able to see me, or is the screen, I don't know how the screen looks at your end.
I can see you. You're tiny, but I can see you.
Okay, so I'll just show you something. I'll show you my hack. So in the morning, it's so funny, in the house, this box is like getting the water. This part of our habit is this box is on the table. Like,
Yeah,
this
mine's
is,
on the counter.
yeah, this is out. And so we almost know we have to have this. And then always the LLB. I put it in here right now because we're almost out. I'm like, oh boy, I better get here soon. But we have it's like sitting out on the counter so that we know to take it. And I always have a glass of water. And I'll show you what else I have. And I'm gonna show you right now so you can giggle. Do you have one of these?
No. Is that your little mixer or
It is,
frother?
and I'm pretty sure this was like a secondhand store purchase. Like, oh, whew, I just got collagen powder proof. So I'm putting it in my water, and it stays at the top, right?
See, I put mine in first and then the water.
Oh, you're smart. I could do that. This is why we talk. And this can be a disaster if done incorrectly. Just so
I
you
can see
know.
that.
But yeah, and I know a lot of people have their like little personal blenders that they have, or the little shakers, but this is definitely this little, probably $1.99 at the secondhand store. I don't know how much they are regular, but they're the little frothers. So we use them for like when we're making lemon fogs. They're the best
Yeah,
little frothers for like the almond milk. And then bottoms up. Oh, I drink it all at once. That's power
me
back.
too. I don't mind the flavor at all.
Mm-mm. I don't mind it either. But it's like, let's take it, let's have it, and then I'm on with my day. And you know what it is, like, Julie, it is slowed me down from the over caffeinated consumption that I might have in the morning. And you're like, well, that's my tea, Melissa.
That's true, actually. I hadn't thought about that. I am craving less. I'm not craving the caffeine at like in the afternoon anymore.
No. No, and so my teas that I'm able to go, I'm like more on looking at the red, right? That's why I was like market spice, because I'm like the red tea leaf, which is not heavily caffeinated leaf, or just am I saying it right? Tasani?
Just saying.
Tasane. Thank you. See, I needed
It's
that.
just a fancy way of saying herbal.
Yeah, the herbal ones. For me, the herbal ones, I'm like it's really interesting. I think this is like the biochemistry of it, being drawn. And it's something that I've noticed with other people. that are on the MetaPWR system. And you even said other people that have taken keto. So there's a biochemical change happening inside the body where I'm being drawn to the herbal teas. So I want to show you.
Nice.
Does that, I don't know if that makes sense, like that something's happening and it's like, no, I don't really like. Yesterday there was someone that was like, oh, here, have a rocket, like the candy rockets. That was like 3:30 or something, or 4, coming home from work. And I'm like, no thanks. They're like, really? I'm like, yes, like it's actually, I don't know, some sort of awareness, like an awareness that I know that's not going to help my body. So no, thank you.
Well, and you're not craving the sugar as much. I
Uh-uh.
find the thing it's not really a struggle, but it's I don't know, it'll be, say it's 3 p.m. and it's the time I would normally have a tea.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, it's time for tea. But then my body's like, I don't really want it. And I'm like, but we're supposed to have it. This is the habit. And that's where I'm struggling, is creating the new, I don't know, new habits, but replacing the old habits. But because it's such a innate scheduled thing, my body's kind of like, well, I know you don't want it, but we're supposed to. Like, it's the time.
Right? Yes. And it's that
confused. My body's confused.
Your body's confused. It's like, yeah, and that is, I think, that the power of sort of that biochemistry and allowing that space for decision making versus that reactive. And I think I notice it more with really have noticed it with my emotions as well. Even though I'm good at regulating, I could say most of the time I'm good at regulating my emotions, but I'm working to regulate them, right? Like you're
self-aware.
Oh, self-aware. I'm like, oh, it's gotten way easier.
Nice.
It's gotten way easier, which I love. And I don't know if this is gonna work for people, if you can see it. I did put up keeping track of measurements if people want to. I didn't take measurements. I just did the photo, and I think I was probably day 3 when I took the photo. You don't have to share it up here if you don't want to, but I would have it for your own records, because it did blow me away. Like my face, definitely, when I look at my face from sort of at the end of the summer, I could see how puffy it was. And now I can see that it doesn't look like that inflamed, like my inflammation has gone down so much.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is I've put the unboxing your steps. I put little videos in for that. See, I laugh at it. I open it up and I'm like, oh,
that's awesome.
They're funny little videos, but they help explain each of the steps because they are going to be different for every person. But there's something that knowing what they're doing for you is going to help you know when you want to take them. Like you were saying, your advantage is like closer to midday or early. Did you say mid-morning?
Yeah, about 11.
Yeah. And then you're noticing your energy stays sort of cruisy throughout the day when you do that.
And more in the evening too.
That's awesome.
The first week I was taking the advantage first thing, and I was still have my usual super fatigue after dinner. And then when I started taking it around 11, a little bit later, then I find my after dinner, I'm like, okay, let's go do something instead of.
That's such a good feeling. Julie, that is such a good feeling, because that's exactly what happened with me, is that I started to go, oh my gosh, I am not, and mine was crashing, like coming home from work. Like mine was like, how am I going to pull this together to make dinner? Like, right? I was so tired when I'd get home. I didn't want to.
That's when you eat worse, because you're exhausted and don't want to stand in front of the stove.
100%. And that's where my snacky would come in, and they'd almost be like, well, I'm not even hungry for dinner, but I'd still eat it anyway, right?
Yeah.
It's terrible. So the first 10 days, I know that the first 10 days, you're almost done that, and I'll add to the day 20 check-in today. And it's just, I think it's the end of the 10 days. So when you're done your 10 days, get in there and reflect on those things that you're feeling, because it also helps. That helps create those habits for us as well. When we sit there and we reflect on what we're doing and how it's supporting us, then that helps. That's that actually like that meta word, that you're meta processing a situation. And that helps habits and lifestyle changes, helps to like reinforce them. So that's my teachy knowledge. So make sure you get in for that end of 10 days tracking. And then I'll get the 21 set up as well so that it's ready. I don't know, should I put anything about habit stacking in here, or I think
I would, because just the fact that you and I are talking, things are coming up like that I wouldn't have necessarily thought about, but now I'm just talking to you here, I'm becoming more self-aware and like, oh yeah, I am doing that. Or, oh yeah, if I simply did this, then that would work.
So maybe I'll just even put this video in then.
Yeah.
Would that make sense if I'm like, you and I talking about it?
I think so.
Okay.
Or you could even put the
I can find some, there's tons of stuff on habit stacking out in the computer
course. On the doTERRA training, there's a habit stacking video. It's like 2 minutes.
Ooh. So in the course here. Okay. Well, I wonder if I can get in and to find it. I'll look, because was it Dr. O that was talking about it? I can't remember.
I think so. It was one of the doctors. It wasn't the announcer lady.
No, yeah, I think it was Dr. O. He's an incredible human being. He's been working on this for a long time, and he sure speaks the truth, that human. So, okay, my dear. Well, I'm super excited because I know that there are people that they're needing this right now. I've had people say, I need this, I need to get out. And I know you were talking about feeling like you're getting out of that stuck feeling. And I really hope that this is helping that.
It is. I actually wanted to put up the Christmas tree last night because I was feeling so excited. And Rich said no, this was a curmudgeon.
Julie, that makes my nose tingle and my eyes water a bit. That's awesome. Oh, yay, friend.
Well, there's snow. Well, it's Christmas now.
But even to have that feeling, right? Like I know that a couple months ago, I wouldn't have felt the same way.
Nope. A couple weeks ago, I wouldn't have felt it. I would have been overwhelmed at the prospect of something else going on my plate.
Wow. Yeah, I'm super grateful for that, my friend. Super grateful. You know what I'm going to do right now too? I'm going to go have a tea.
It's the morning. You're okay.
It's Saturday morning. I know I haven't had one yet. See, that's the other thing. My tea is always coming after. So I've been bringing my tea with me to work, rather than I'd start the morning with a huge tea and half a jar of honey,
Yeah, me too.
I'd be spiking my glucose right there. I still love it and having my tea though. So
the glucose goddess said that the way I'm making my chais with coconut milk is way better than oat milk.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely is. Yeah, that coconut milk is not spiking your glucose like oat milk is. Oh yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, my friend, I appreciate your time as always. And I will make sure that we share this, and we'll just keep in touch regarding people that we are serving and helping.
Okay. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.